What is up? What is up, guys? How we doing today? Welcome back. Sorry, I was on the ending screen there. I thought I was on the starting screen, but I'm here with Mickey, like always. My name is Jacob. What's up, Mickey? How you doing?
Hey, good morning, good afternoon.
We are just getting everything back set up here, and there we go. Let's jump into the news. Today, I didn't even realize we have FOMC. Yeah, we didn't stream yesterday because I was coming back from a trip, but we are back today, and we will be back later this week as well. So I appreciate you guys joining, like always. And we do have FOMC. Obviously, we have the war going on across the world, which is very disturbing to see. But, you know, it's just how it is. And I'm sorry if any of you guys are dealing with that. It is not great to see us, you know, fighting and also just, you know, having to watch it ourselves with the amount of news that we get every day from it. But today in market news, we have FOMC at 1400 hours, 2 p.m. EST. Yeah, so on this front, I mean, we know how this works. The minute he comes out and starts talking, especially Jerome hits the mic, literally the market goes bonkers. So be careful around that. Around that 2 p.m. Obviously, the first initial reaction is actually from the minutes that are released. But then after that, we do have, you know, a follow-up talk about it, and that's when it gets a little crazy. So that first reaction, though, you know it's coming at 2, so I would highly suggest not trading during that, especially today. But, you know, after that, if it settles down, then, you know, you have maybe an hour left to trade something. So just stay tuned for that coming out. But, yeah, you know what? We do what we love here. Hop into the charts. And I'm actually about to sneeze, so give me 1 second. Possibly. It's acting like it wants to come. Yeah, 1 sec. All right. Got my sneeze through. Let me see here. Okay. 4-hour chart looking as clean as ever on the ES. Let me just throw on that watermark, make sure we get the most out of it. Yeah, as clean as ever. So far, we did break that smart trail and that previous, you know, lower high. This first indication of, you know, this could be a trend change. Like always, those of you that trade, you know, Fibonacci's, you can select that low, grab that high, and say, hey, that 50 level down there, guess where it's sitting? Right on the smart trail nearly. So getting that retracement could be an indication for a long, especially on the 4-hour as we're continuing to sell off here on the ES. So let's see if we can get a retracement and set up. Obviously, we have, you know, a little bit of volume from these highs here, these previous lower highs, that could potentially act as that support level for a, you know, potential entry on the long side. But everything's leaning long right now. Remember, what we like to talk about is the retracement on the oscillator. Get a little bit of reset, get around 50, 60 there, and then trade off of that. So potential setup on ES eventually with the 4-hour chart here. But for now, we just kind of wait, sit back, and see what FOMC brings us in what we have, I think, 1 hour from it. Yeah, 1 hour. But let's head over to gold. You guys know the situation here. We go through all the charts on the higher time frames, make sure we're seeing everything we want to see. Got that 2 signal on the AI system showing, hey, you know, maybe, you know, this could be a potential reversal. 2 is not as strong, but as like a 3, like I said, 3 is my favorite. You can see here 4, we did have, you know, a potential move, and it did go a little higher, but ended up breaking back. So 3 there, great continuation on that trend. We're still purple here on gold, but let's go to the gradient confirmation, which is my favorite. For those of you asked about the indicator, look at the top of my screen. These are the indicators we're using: price action concepts, signals and overlays, and the oscillator matrix. Oscillator matrix down here. Signals and overlays has the AI signals like we talked about. It's the AI signal classifier right here. And so far, though, what do we see that we really like on gold here on the 4-hour is we like that we have a signal. We like that we have a bullish smart trail and the money flow is starting to flip, right? So essentially what I would like to see is, this money flow or the oscillator to come back down, give us that, setup. Now, if we do have some divergence where the oscillator is resetting at the same time as price is increasing, that could give us an initial potential entry for an even longer move. So let's see if we get a setup and a continuation on gold. But nice start to this trend reversal on gold here. I mean, we've been getting hammered for days. But this is essentially what you want to see on the setup front. And this is exactly where, Thursday of last week, I would want to set up, right? Get a 2 signal, you get a break of that smart trail, then you get a retracement, right, to the smart trail. Well, guess what? What do you see down here? Well, we see that it was super bearish for a long time on the oscillator. We had a breakthrough, right? And then a retracement. Oscillator reset at the 50 level. Seeing that there with the turning point, with the green turning point down here, we can zoom in real close. This green turning point here, boom, that's my entry. I had to bounce off the smart trail. I had what I call a no-wick retest candle set up right here. Hit a low. This candle opened up and said, absolutely not. We're not retesting that low. It's a great lower high setup there. Higher low setup there. And then that's where I would take my entry once I got this turning point. Would have been right there. And that's what we're going to be looking for right now. But here you go. Stop loss below that recent swing low. Target that 2-to-1. This thing hit a high of, let's see, how high was that? All of 3-to-1, almost exactly. If we went all the way to that high 3 ratio there. Beautiful. Beautiful trade setup, all just because everything lined up, right? Boom. You had the bounce off the smart trail. Oscillator flipped right there for that entry. And you're shifting from an extended price on the sell side. So that ended up hitting a nice retracement on that 4-hour move. Yeah, if you want to try out what you're seeing all over my chart for 30 days risk-free, just click the link in the description. And you can also get 30% off your first order. So 30 days, I call it the 30 by 30. Get 30 days risk-free and 30% off. Luxalgo.com, you'll see it all over the front page. So going back into the analysis, though, here, again, we always talk about how we want to see that oscillator stretch to these oversold levels, right? Oversold, overbought. That's going to tell us everything to which this might turn into a trending situation. So another setup on gold here would have been perfect on this 4-hour, right? Extended price. We're a little back and forth on the money flow there, dead center, right? A little back and forth on that, but because it extended, we can think, okay, this might flip, might have a trend change. So we get the flip on the oscillator. You get that 3 signal, which is a stronger signal, right? You had that turning point on the oscillator here, and then the flip of the money flow, and then it flips into overflow. So overflow is this other colored cloud, or whatever you want to call it, on the oscillator. When you see that super strong bearish volume. So hitting that 3 signal could have been money there, and you could have had a nice, big down run we're having now. But for now, we do want to see a little bit more of a retracement since we are in the extended level. But seeing the fact that we were extremely bearish is why I do like this to the upside so long as price holds, right? So right now, and wow, actually, we did, and those of you that said gold, please, that's exactly what we're looking at. So I don't know why you said that. If we do look here, though, this is something that we talked about last week, big time. And it was this 1800, right? It was the 1810. If you go to the daily chart, I mean, this worked exactly what we were talking about. So we were saying earlier last week on Thursday, we said, watch for the sell-off. We were in no man's land, right? This is no man's land. Where's the current support? Well, we could find that out with the price action concepts right here, this order block. We said don't trade, don't take any trades the opposite direction until we reach this order block. So you can see now we sold off even more, and then we aggressively hit this order block. We said look for a bounce between 1830 down to 1800, right? This hit that 50 level almost honestly exactly. It had a 10% there, which is 1.87 million in volume that originally bounced, right? So we got that exact same setup. Now if you take the Mickey strategy, which is beautiful, you see, look, we broke out of the order block there. I don't consider a trade till we break out of that order block. Broke out of it there. If we were to mark that level, right? Let's just hit a little arrow. Let's put a little thing there. I'm going to bring it down. Can I bring that down? Why didn't that change the... Here we go. Let's bring that thickness way down. We mark that level, right? Then we go into a smaller time frame. Let's look at the 15-minute here on this line. And get rid of this guy. Where was that level, right? Now what we can do is we can take, if we wanted to, we can just take the daily order blocks. Look at this. All right, let's see there you go. Boom. What do you get? I mean, this is you can't make this up, right? This is exactly what we discussed on I think it was Thursday, Mickey? What day did we stream last?
I think Thursday. No?
Yeah, maybe. I can't remember. Anyway, Friday this occurred, right? We're inside that daily order block. Why would we trade in this consolidation? Because it's inside that daily order block. It bounces off that 50% level. This is that daily order block on a smaller time frame. Look what happens. It breaks out of that order block, finds support on that order block. Beautiful support on the order block, and then has a massive rally, right? If you would have taken this trade once it exited that order block, dropped it to have your stop below that swing low, right? Which was a 1% trade setup here. We would have ended up with a 2-to-1 on this massive move, right? So if we would have taken, entry anywhere out of that exit of the order block, which was right here, you would have that massive move. You tell me here, look, you had an exit here, right? Look, if you would have entered really early, you exited here, that would have been your first entry if you were to take in this strategy, right? Exited there, you put your stop below that low, right? You probably would have gotten stopped out right here. Okay. Well, if you took it again, you had that 2.5% move so far. Massive move off. But even that there, why not wait for confirmation? Why not wait for this support change? You get that support there, and then you blow through it. You could have even waited for it to exit and been up here and still been profitable. Nice little move to that upside. But this is where we say, look, even here, this high didn't break out. Finally broke out, showed that support. So this broke out here and then immediately came back down, right? Broke out there, immediately came back down. That's not really going to be showing me anything. So taking it when it breaks out aggressively, not, at a mediocre rate, aggressively breaks out here, shows support. That's what you look for. You don't want to look for... Let me remove drawings. There we go. You don't want to look for it to immediately come back in. You want to look for that support to set up. So, beautiful little 15-minute to daily order block setup there that could have generated a 2.5% rally on that. But for now, take this into consideration. The 4-hour, my goodness, I can't even. That daily order block is just incredible. Let's go to the 4-hour. 4-hour here. I'm pretty sure this actually had an order block down here as well. Unless it got hammered. It was going through a few there. Yeah, bounce off that guy. Now, there you go. Double bounce off there. Order block ended up printing again. So we did have another order. We did have a 4-hour order block that it did play off as well. As you can see here. Touched it twice. And it bounced. Now, I did print a new order block off that low, but there you go. There's that 4-hour order block where it went in, came out, had a nice move after it. Now, in the current situation that we are in, price is extended, right? We had a retracement down here, had a nice bounce, and if this were to continue, I'm going to be looking for, another retracement probably to this previous high, right? Get a nice little bounce off that guy. That'd be nice. Get a little bounce to send us into that next level. I don't know why that didn't. Oh, I'm just printing dots now. Let me just do that again. But again, bounce off that high. If this thing can pull back a little more for me with that retracement, then we're looking at a nice move. So beautiful little setup there on that daily order block, and that's exactly why we talk about, Can I move this to send it backwards? Yeah, no, it doesn't. Send it back. Yeah, that color setup is always weird with but we can go to confirmation simple and give us that color there. But again, there you go. Gold for now, bullish if we can get that retracement set up. But in the time being, there's no entry at this very moment. So, next up, Bitcoin. Let's get over to Bitcoin. See if we got any similar setup that we talk about over and over again. And something a little bit similar down here, which was pretty good. But for now, let's see here. Current analysis. What do I want to look for? I want to look for a re-entry of this order block down here, right? And I keep doing that. I keep misclicking. Let me just make that bigger. But yeah, so currently I want to see a retracement to this order block down here for an entry. Look, price extended, right? So we need to see price trickle back up and then come back down and then maybe hit a stride after that. But for now, again, this is no man's land. We're not at a high. We're not at a low. We're missed the trade, right? So seeing this so far, I want to see a retracement back down here before I take any type of entry, right? So you can see here, bounce before off that 4 hour, had a nice rally. Rejected. Do we have? I know in the past we rejected somewhere around here. I think we might have broken out here of an order block. I'm assuming if we go back here, we did. Yes. So we did, show a little action off these order blocks before. And then remember, we had several levels of support. And we finally broke out of that after reacting to it multiple times. Bounced off that breaker block, had another move. Then we started setting lower highs, and now we're scaling back down to the 26th level. So a lot of consolidation at this current moment, back and forth, which, that's when you turn off signals and overlays and you say, hey, let's trade this price action because it can be real clean moves. So overall, nice little setup here for Bitcoin if we get down to this level. We did have that BOS and to change the character here with a lower high. That could have been a setup. But for now, I think, that 26,000 range we bounced out before would be your ideal setup. So you can set an alert for entering an order block, which is what I have. This is what I do. Look, I have an alert for ES because I trade ES and the NASDAQ. I have an alert here where I can go, boom, down here, and I say, where is it? Here. Bullish order block entered. All I do is click that. When I say once per bar, I want to know when this guy's entering that order block, right? So every single time this price would enter this in a bullish order block down here, this is going to alert me. So I can go do whatever I want, and then when this hits that order block, it's going to tell me that it's entered an order block. So I don't have to, worry about sitting here looking at the chart. And then guess what? I can do it on the bearish order block entered as well. I don't know if this will show up. Yeah, my on the app here it's messed up, but you'll see we might get an alert for yes that I get that we entered an order block. Indicators being used on screen right now. This is the price action concepts indicator. You saw the signals and overlays indicator as well with the AI signals, right? And the oscillator matrix, which is down here. I like to use the oscillator matrix as that filter for proper entries. But again, you can go on the website, luxout.com, get 30 days risk-free, and use code LUX30 for 30% off, as you can see it on the screen as well when it pops up. But try for 30 days, get that LUX30 code to also get 30% off. But again, for now, Bitcoin waiting for that retracement. Let's jump over to a Forex. Make sure we touch on all of our majors. I'm going to do Euro USD because that's the only one that I really like looking at besides like the dollar. And yes, John, guys, if you want to look, Nicholas will be looking at NQ and ES as well. If you guys want to look at anything specific right now in just a second, please post it in the chat with the time frame, and we'll look at it. Make sure you guys are on the right path. We can look at potential trades you're already in or potential trades you're looking at possibly taking. You just post it in the chat, and we'll go over it in the order that it was posted in the chat, okay? So next up is going to be NQ and ES there for Nicholas. Then John will go over Euro and the Japanese yen. And then from then, we'll just go over whatever's posted in the chat. So for now, Euro USD as our last major that I want to look at. And then we will continue with what you guys have posted. So right now, similar setup where we're getting that trend change, right? We broke that smart trail. Broke the smart trail. We have our BOS. And look, super bearish, right? You can just tell in the money flow. All bearish price action. Okay? So I don't look for, this was trying to make a bullish break, didn't. Look at the oscillator. Still bearish. This finally trying to make a bullish break with a 3 signal. Remember I told you I like the 3 signals. And look, oscillator starting to flip. So what am I going to do? I'm going to be looking for that retracement for a potential trend opportunity. Notice the smart trail is now angled up, right? With this smart trail angled up, I potentially have a trend opportunity coming. What I want to see is a retracement and a bounce. Probably aggressive bounce, and then also a retracement and a bounce on the oscillator down here, right? So if that occurs, we get something like that with a turning point. That's where I would look for an entry because look, that lines up with the money flow, and then you get a bounce here with a 3 signal, and then you have a BOS. So, a change of character after a BOS. So this is an early signal already. So we're getting that bullish switch over here on the 4 hour for the Euro USD. So I want to see a retracement already. Now, of course, if you want to take like a Fibonacci, if this is a potential higher low. Higher high on this uptrend. If that's a pivot point, I can take that fib and look for that 50 retracement, which is already in that order block. So we'll see if that ends up lining up. It probably wouldn't retrace that much due to the retracements it's already had. So Hawk, yes, you can set alerts on any time frame you want. It doesn't matter. So long as when you're setting the alert, it's on whatever time frame. So if I add an alert, notice it says 4 hour here. So that's what you want to do. Just make sure you can set it on any time frame you want, though. So just have to be on the chart. So let's go over NQ and ES here for Nicholas. He was the first one to comment. Go to the NQ. I'm going to look at the futures because that's what I like to look at. We're already getting that 4 hour reject of this order block, right? So like in this case, I like that 4 hour order block right now. It's showing that resistance, right? But price here, super extended. Got the turning point here, got the AI oscillator reversal signal, right? And also a turning point occurring at this very moment. So this is where it's like, when this candle closes, you got 42 minutes, right, on this candle. Would that be a potential reversal setup? Well, this is where your risk to reward is technically pretty low, but at the same time, due to the candle coloring, this reject, if you were to take a short off this, you would do something like a half position, right, with your stop loss above that upper order block target. This would be probably a scalp trade. But again, there is a potential where you could have a reversal trade just off of what it's telling you now. But I would never recommend if you're going for those bigger trades, longer trades, you would ever enter when it's showing you all the opposite, right? So if you were to trade a scalp off of, an order block reject here, lower risk, lower time frame, making sure that you have, the setup on that lower time frame to take a short like that. But again, we have FOMC here in 45 minutes. So it's like, why I'm not going to be taking a trade on that. So for the NQ though, bullish for sure, very bullish. Looking at it as well, if we take a fib, let's look at a fib. Where does the 5 and the 3/8 line up? Well, it lines up right at this previous resistance, right? I'll just drag this down. Boom. Right? 5 feet, 3/8 line up at the previous resistance. So this area here, that could be the potential zone for a trade. So you can notice what else is sitting there. Well, you have the oscillator sitting there. You have the smart trail sitting there from the signals and overlays. So maybe when we go retest this smart trail, look for a reaction, see if the oscillator comes back down a little bit for you with a turning point, and then you're looking, a good setup for another move to this order block. So essentially your trade would be somewhere around here, not a short. Your trade would be somewhere around here. Stop loss probably below this potential swing low. And then you target that order block again. So it'd be another 2-to-1 setup. So retracement on the NQ would be ideal for a continuation to the upside. But again, we have FOMC in literally 40 minutes. So it's not really anything you want to be trading at this very moment. Same with ES, probably the same, looking about the same. Yep. You're getting that retracement right now. Oscillator is pretty overbought at the moment, but the trend is changing. So in order for that trend to properly change, you got to get a retracement out of an overbought aggressive move, and then get another setup around that 50% on the oscillator, show some reaction to this trend, and then maybe we get a move. But with FOMC, it's really gonna mess around with the actual calculation for this current day. So I would definitely 4-hour will probably be fine, honestly. 5-minute and 15-minute, obviously those moves are gonna look a lot crazier. So looking for that will be ideal. Let's go to the next chart that we wanted to see here. Somebody was saying, John wanted euro and the Japanese yen. Ooh. So let's take a look at that. He said, I think it's going down. All right, let's go to the 4-hour first. So what do you notice? What is the first thing you notice on this? And the first thing I'm going to do is probably I'm either going to turn off signals and overlays because of the chop that it currently trades back and forth in right now. Or on signals and overlays, I'm going to go in. All right. I'm going to go in and I'm going to change the signal mode to contrarian. All right. So if I do contrarian here, I can turn on contrarian gradient as well. I'm going to use the extended signals on either side to help with my analysis, right? So you can see here before, this 3 signal called that bottom. The 1 had a great top. This 3 signal called that bottom. The 3 here called the top. 1, 3, 1, 3. This is a 3 called the top there, rejected, had an exit signal. But notice that money flow never flipped to bearish, so now it's back up where that entry would have been. So you probably would have scaled out at some point, especially when it broke that smart trail. But again, noticing this chop, I go have contrarian signal mode on. If I don't use contrarian because I see this choppy, I'm going to just use price action concepts, right? So euro against the yen here in that resistance zone, right? But it's been there quite a bit. So will it, break out this time? I mean, FOMC is definitely going to affect this, this as well, because it affects the entire market. But it probably not as aggressively as all the U.S. markets. But notice 156. Here's that order block. The minute it broke and swept this liquidity, the minute this liquidity got swept here, what happened? It came down and completely bounced off this order block. It had a super large wick on probably some news that I don't know about, but just on the normal analysis, it swept that liquidity, came back up through it, and then found a bounce off of it and retested that upper order block. So at this current moment, because at this high, yes, I think looking short is a potential unless it breaks out of that order block. So you want to see, like we talked about, this is a 4-hour order block. There's no reason to be trading inside this 4-hour order block. You want to see it exit that order block. So price needs to break through or below around 158 even. I would say 158 even. Just make it simple. 158 even, this price needs to break below that, right? Once it's out of the order block. What I don't like is this reject. And then it, retrace, but then set a higher low, and then now retest it again. That's setting up for a potential breakout. So watch for that. If it can trade outside of this block again or above it, even above it, you might have a nice move. So I would stay inside. I would wait till it exits this 4-hour order block. Next up, Eduardo said Alphabet Class A 4-hour chart. All right, we'll pull up some Google. And I think Class A is just the NASDAQ. Yeah. 4-hour chart. Let's see here. Put on that signals and overlays. Let's take off contrarian mode now. Go back to simple. And we had a beautiful 2 signal there that occurred before this rally. With some, nice reversal signal. So this is something you can use the oscillator with. Is noticing, look, even though it's extended, right? You got that reversal signal. Notice the money flow is still bullish. So using that all together could really help on, maybe this is telling you something. Because it stayed bullish after breaking that smart trail. That it could be a continuation, but I would wait until you get, another signal like this. So nice little breakout there. So for this current session, yes, I think Alphabet, Google, Class A stock, you want to go retest this order block up here. 142 would be that target. But it just sucks because we do have FOMC in now 35 minutes. And so I don't really, I don't trade anything. This could get wiped out. So that's something that we don't have control over, right? But again, you can see your daily chart sitting at the same level as that, or that order block sitting at the same level as the 4-hour. So definitely going to be some type of significance of above 142 that we could trade. So for now, wait for that move up. Price is extended, but again, it did break out. So unless this candle closes back down on the 4-hour on Google here, then you're looking at probably just staying bullish. So it's really going to depend on what FOMC gets into. All right. Next up. Let's see. I will only look at a TRB USD. I don't trade these altcoins, so I will only look at it if the volume's solid. It looks pretty solid. What about 5 minutes? Probably choppy though. Yeah, that's kind of rough. So yeah, long term maybe worth a look, but this thing looks like it just spikes when it wants to. Now back when it had this nice run here, so it was like, whoa, this was early September. Nice little rally. Yeah, this thing took off. It's just one of those things where the volume is everything. You got to have that. The volume looks like it faded. There's not really any levels to consider other than 42, maybe sub 43, and then this 52 where it rejected hard. So you're gonna want to break through one of those to see any moves. Let's go to the next one now. Ethereum, yes. We looked at Bitcoin earlier, but Ethereum for sure. Look at. All right, Ethereum. Flip back into that bearish downtrend. If you look at the daily, we are testing the bottom of this small little range it's in, right? Okay, have it to chart. This here is consolidating too much. I would say, because of the bounces off this level, you potentially could take a trade to the downside once that's broken. to retest this lower order block at 1404 or 1440, top of the order block. But again, this is a range to get out of before taking any trade, right? Especially in crypto, you want to watch for these trends to get broken. But right now, Ethereum daily, not really looking for anything crazy. You could have potentially had a trade somewhere along like this is something I do like looking for. You get to your BOS, that I didn't go around there. Into change character, you break that smart trail, you get a signal, you got a BOS, you get a retracement of the smart trail with a reject, you get a nice turning point. There could have been a trade. Nice little setup for a retrace to test that low again, which is exactly what you got. Everything lined up at this point because of the oscillator resetting and the reject of the smart trail. Could have had a nice downwards move there because it all lined up. At the current moment, it's just too extended to want to go long or short because we are testing this low. But if it bounced off that low and it flips, bullish, we see that on the oscillator as well, then that's what I would look for. But for now, I would say it's going to go lower down to 1538, 1540 to 15, whatever that low is, 1531. 1540 to 1530 would be the ideal move to the downside. Ethereum, okay. Mickey, can you just block that dude? I'm not gonna look at anything you spam, just letting you guys know. We'll go over gold again later, but if you spam it, it's just not gonna. Do you have moderator? Yeah, you have moderator. Do you know how to put them in timeout? You just click the 3 bars and you put them in timeout.
It's done.
Money. Yeah, there you go. That's so funny. Let's see here. After that, what do we have next? Swedish index. Nah. Please advise S&P. We did that a little bit. We can go back over it again here as time ticks on. All right, here we go. Let's look at the British pound versus the US dollar for Pradeep. Hopefully I said that right. All right. Wanda. Similar situation. I mean, look at this. We don't make this up. This is why a lot of people do just like using price action concepts. These order blocks just are money, but I like using signals and overlays, especially. I'm gonna turn off autopilot here to kind of help with this. But sensitivity though, optimized was 10, right? So if we take that 10 sensitivity. Or actually, let's see where it was at that given time. Let's get smart trail. So with this order block testing, let's see if sensitivity. Okay, it wanted 12 at that moment. So this is where you could consider several levels here of a reversal setup. So it depends if you are a long-term, short-term trader. On the trend side of things, signals and overlays is exactly what you want, right? If you want to trade reversals early, you probably you want to use maybe 1 or 2 features out of the signals and overlays. But this is the reasoning behind it, is because this here with the candles being red is going to be like in a 3 signal to the downside. You're going to think, okay, this isn't a great place, for a reversal, right? But with that order block at 8% there and the bounce, if you were to just look at price action concepts, you have a higher risk, higher/lower risk reward. It could be either, based on just several things here, right? You have a divergence being formed. You have a bullish turning point. You have the money flow decreasing. You have a bounce off your order block, aggressive bounce off the order block. Now, if we would have waited, which normally I would always suggest waiting, right? I would wait for a bullish turning point on that oscillator. Notice, what do we got now? Money flow switched, right? You get your turning point right here. Okay, you could have taken, your little bit of a long position here. Nice little short stop if you wanted it down there, targeted this order block here, this recent high. Or you take your stop, you set your stop below the low. Then you play it out. Let's see. So even below that order block there, we still wouldn't have gotten stopped out. So you would have hit your first initial target off of not even worrying about signals and overlays, right? And even there, look, signals and overlays was like, hell yeah, let's do this. So I could have used signals and overlays as well with the 12 sensitivity that I asked. But that bounce off I don't know what happened to my mouse there, but the bounce off this order block that formed later on, as well to change character after BOS after that bounce, all of that ended up lining up. Did we get any higher here? I think we did, yeah. All set up for a beautiful trade. So forget what I said about signals and overlays. I mean, you can use that too. But again, it is more helpful for longer term, especially on a 4-hour or something, trend identification, moves. So bounce here, boom. Turning point here, boom. Flips on the oscillator, boom. 3 signal, boom. Turning point here, boom. Entry would have been here. Stop loss below that. After that massive downward move. And so far, you would have had a 1.5 to 1. Nice little setup there so far. So 1-to-1 would have hit just fine. And some of you trade 1-to-1 for scalps. But this is a 4-hour. So if we're continuing this trend, there's a potential of a continued move. Now, at the moment, same situation as the ones we were looking for. We're kind of in a no man's land type situation. But I do like that we had that order block bounce. And I do like that we're continuing this reversal, right? So a continued setup probably over this previous resistance or lower high. Right? Retrace on the oscillator would be nice. And then a bounce. And then targeting this upper order block, which is sitting, 124. So definitely a lot of big potentials here, which looks really good. We go over crypto there. We just went over Ethereum and Bitcoin. So I don't know what you mean by that. We can go over more crypto for sure. I was just saying specific altcoins with low volume. Me personally don't think there's any reason to even look at them, because at any moment in time, some famous person could buy, $1 million worth of it, and then the price goes up to, 200-300% for no reason. So it's not really, that's not any type of actual analysis is even worth it on those altcoins. Let's see. U.S. oil looks like that's one. We're going to go over gold again. Don't worry. U.S. 30. For sure. You got about 15 minutes here. And then Mickey's going to hop in with his tips and tricks. But let's see for the current thing. Yeah, looks like gold. I know you guys love your gold. Let me see here. Let's do U.S. oil first for Andrea. And then Alphabet A class, can you check the premiums? I mean, it's probably in a premium. I mean, you saw what it was at. It was in a massive upside, right? Definitely in a premium zone, but it broke out again. Right? Broke out of that recent high after resetting on that oscillator. So that continuation is very possible. But there's no reason to be shorting at this moment in time. Just saying. Let's do U.S. oil. We'll do crude futures, and then we could look at USO and potentially then US 30 after that. US 30's up next for Jennifer and them. All right. For CL, lovely gap up this morning. My goodness. Wait, yeah. Big old gap up here on crude oil with a little bit of a retracement. Notice that we still have the bearish money flow here, right? Even with that gap up. Oh, sorry. Look, we have to change our sensitivity to 19. So it's definitely going to be in a downtrend here. We had that one signal for retracement. Got a 2 out of that. and it's retracing now. Bearish money flow is still current, so in my opinion, no, there's no upside trade happening anytime soon right here. Obviously, you can see it's trying to fill that gap, and it did, for the most part, filled the gap. But the trend could be changing, right? You do see that we extended here. The money flow is decreasing a bit, and if we get a higher low on the oscillator, we could get a trade for a breakout if we retest up to here around 86. This is bound to come back down at some point. But for crude at the moment, still bearish. Let's look at the daily. Daily did reject this 4 million order block here from before. Yeah, wow. What a retest and just busted lower. So there you go. Nice reject, and it continued now lower off of that with a divergence signaled already. USD, what is that? IN what? Sorry, I can't read the. Can I read that? Ultra. Let me go back up and look. Oh, INR. Let's see if. Yeah, if you spammed it, I'm probably not gonna look at it. But we'll go back and see if the volume's decent. What is INR? Oh, the Indian rupee, or however the heck you say that. Well, potentially look at that. I mean, is that another one of those where the market's open like 3 hours, Mickey? like
A
Nifty.
little bit more, I think 6 hours maybe.
I guess yeah, because it's a pair, it could be open longer. Well, we might take a look at it. But here for crude oil, again, it's still bearish, right? We're in the 2 signal on the daily. We rejected that daily order block. It's a no man's land type situation as well. The 4 hours is the only way I could, see, it's still in that no man's land. But you can see here 80 on there, and then guess what? 78 on there. So really, you want to look for that 78 to 80 where we had that higher low before, probably for your next trade setup, unless for some reason it doesn't, hold this level, unless it does hold this level after that gap fill. But seeing that retracement back to, the resistance it had today could indicate a nice breakout. I mean, price here gonna have it struggle again, but it might, if it retests again, have a nice blow up to the 90s. I could really see oil getting to the 90s again, to be honest, which kind of sucks, but could totally happen. Ricky, you look at all of them. 4 hour we like a lot. I mean, 4 hours like bread and butter. But we do like to look at 4 hour daily. Make sure everything's sinking, right? You want it to sink before considering a trade. Now, sometimes obviously you're gonna have a lot of confluence between those levels. That's why, if anything, you do 4 hour and your 15-minute for your lower time frame trading. And that's just pretty standard. Could really, really help. But yeah, 4 hour is usually the go-to. All right, we got 10 minutes here. Let's see. I want to look over. Somebody mentioned a US 30. Sorry, that was one. The Dow Jones. The Dow Jones Index. All right. Similar to the NQ, of course, and the ES. On the 4 hour rejecting this order block. Now, we talked about how you could have taken a short. Obviously, seeing a little bit of a double top there. You got some divergence happening. You got a reversal signal. This is one of those things where, with all that setting up, the other thing I like is look at the money flow difference here. Very strong bears, very weak bulls, even though it flipped. So in that consideration here, I could be like, okay, maybe there's opportunity here, but I'm not going to go full on, like YOLO this level. Like I would take half a position off of it would be off this candle, honestly, for a, maybe a retracement. But it's tough at this very moment because you have FOMC in literally less than, like 18 minutes. So it's like, yeah, we're after that, then you look at it. So we're actually going to see FOMC hit, see those minutes hit here, probably when Mickey's going over some stuff. We'll be able to see what's going on with it. But for now, US 30 is bearish. I would say a little bearish right now until FOMC. Let's see here. We had Netflix, Rune, and USDT. Rune, I think, had decent volume. Oh, sorry. We had USD and the Canadian dollar. That was one earlier. Let's look at that for Elda. Hopefully, I'm not just ruining your names by saying them weird. But again, we have all our order blocks up. We want to see all those levels like we always talk about. We're in a 2 signal on the 4 hour. Let's change our sensitivity though to what it tells us. 15. Let's see here. 50 minutes. All right, yeah, still in that 2 signal. Or sorry, 15 sensitivity. Still the 2 signal, still bearish. We are getting a current potential change of character on the Canadian dollar against the, or US dollar against the Canadian dollar. So let's see if, you know, we get that continuation, right? We need another signal. We need a retracement. In my opinion, could we take a trade off of this? Not really. This upside trade wouldn't have worked very well, right? We had, you know, that change of character after BOS, which is solid. You had the 2 signal, which is solid. But notice here, it just kept going lower. It kind of took off without you. This could indicate, you know, a nice retracement on a bull run, right? So, like, you know, we grab our fib on that turning point. Look where it's trying to bounce right now. It's right in that golden zone. So, you know, that there could help with that indication of, you know, the golden zone bounce. This could help, you know, if we had that for that move to the upside. Like, let's look at one of my new favorite free indicators that we launched was Fibonacci trailing stop. This thing is sweet. So this is a free indicator. And see what. So this is pulling off the downtrend here because it changed. But we can change our swing points. Let's do like 30. Let's do it to where it's the it's grabbing that. There you go. So what is like 35? This is a higher time frame, so be like, yeah, there you go, 35. So you can see it now pulling and seeing where it's setting up here. It's in that zone there. In the golden zone, it's blue on this indicator, but this is actually a free indicator, Fibonacci trailing stop. And it's currently setting up for that Fibonacci run. Now, this is where Fibonacci is like better off being used, I think, is when you have these aggressive, you know, changes, right? You have this aggressive move, not just like some simple little downtrend. Aggressive move. Then you can look for that retrace setup. So at this very moment for USD versus the Canadian dollar, I would want to see this hold that support, a new signal come in, that we could target some of these upper order blocks. The nice part is, from what we're seeing so far, it looks like we have a little bit more liquidity to the upside. You know, price is going to go towards that liquidity. We did break out, right? The only thing we could consider this breakout, though, is it could be a liquidity sweep. They could have grabbed the liquidity and now send it lower, right? So we're kind of in conflicting area right now. We would need to get back over that previous high to show that this wants to continue. So for the U.S. Canadian dollar for now, let's look for a, you know, continued bounce. Continued bounce and then a flip with a signal. And then we might go retest that order block. So it is potentially a setup for, you know, a retrace to the, or another retest of the 37.7 level. So kind of wait for that and see if it continues or not. For now, though, I mean, we are getting bearish signals. So it flipping over to the bearish side. If we get a turning point to the downside here, then I would definitely short down to this level. So that's where it's just back and forth right now. So you do potentially have a setup on either side here. Let's see. Next was someone said Rune to USDT. I don't know if it would be worth to look at this, but we might as well pull it up to see. Okay, 4 hours showing. Yeah, this I forgot. Rune does have decent volume. So here you go. Here's Rune against Tether. And I mean, again, this is another no man's land. But here you go. I mean, I don't know how many times I have to explain this to you guys, but we don't make this up. I didn't go and think about looking at Rune. Like, I don't trade these. So, I mean, there's a reason these order blocks, are things to have up, and that's it right there. I mean, this tested that order block and just hammered off of it. And it's another reasoning of making sure you have all the order blocks up that you want. Now, you don't always have to do that. Like, default's 5, right? But you wouldn't have seen that order block there. You might have earlier if we went back in time. So you wouldn't have. So that's why we put up our, we make it 500. It doesn't have to be 500. I even have hide overlap on. Like, if we turn that on, we might even have more sitting at that level. But that's just telling us everything we need to know. And we're noticing that reaction. Where did that come from, right? Let's see. That came from back in August. High volume. 22 million. It's pretty large order block. Nice reject. I always like to say look for reaction off order blocks that came from another day. Like, don't worry about like this one here. If we retraced it, you could use that as a target, but I wouldn't really use it as a potential, trade opportunity. I like the ones that happen in the past usually come back to show you like some type of reaction. So that was a nice reaction, even off there. Beautiful down run. For now, that's another day, right? So this 150 level on Rune is where I would be looking for right now. We broke the previous swing low, right? The structure definitely shifted off the swing there. You can see that swing change of character. And now we're heading lower so far. So, like, we need to break this low, of course, to see if we actually confirm this low break, the swing low break. But for Rune, for now, my target is definitely down here. 150 would be first, and then 140 would be second on that one. But you are, you're retesting some highs here. So, like, it makes sense why this bounced at that moment. But again, if anything, based on the current structure, you have a higher probability of heading lower. Obviously, notice the oscillator here had a turning point at around the 50 level. So, higher probability of heading lower here, for sure. This wouldn't be a trade, I don't think, off of here. I wouldn't really consider that. It would have been up here somewhere. Okay. Why is the background music disturbing? Does that disturb you, Mickey? I don't know.
I don't really hear it on my end.
It's just jazz beats. Like, I don't even. Why would that be disturbing?
Someone said it was awesome.
I know. I don't. Yeah, like people usually like it. I'm sorry if it's disturbing.
Nicholas says background.
Yeah, he says it's fire. There you go. All right, I'm gonna do the NAS 100 here for motivational minute for you guys, and then Mickey's gonna come in and look at some stuff, and we'll see FOMC here in 10 minutes when he does some crazy moves. I'm just looking over the comments again. Yeah, let's look at actually, let me look at Netflix real quick for this one guy on the daily. So here you go, Netflix. Same situation. We're retesting a previous higher high. And we had an order block at that same level. So this is where 358, 359. Look for that. Look for a bounce off that. Okay. Look for a nice setup off that level. Don't just be like, okay, it's at 359. I'm gonna buy it. Don't do that. You have earnings as well on the 18th. So if you get a setup before earnings, you could YOLO, your butt off and see if you get a nice bounce. But Netflix, can be anywhere. So yeah, 359. Watch for bounce. Reaction 359. Let me look at NAS 100 for 2 seconds, and then Mickey gonna take over. All right, NAS 100. Is this the right Pepperstone? I guess it makes sense. Black Bull maybe. You want it on Pepperstone? What exchange you guys want it on? What even is Pepperstone? I don't even know. I'll look at that. Yeah, true, but Black Bull I've heard of. Whoever wants NAS 100, is there a specific one you look at? I guess it doesn't matter. Black Bull. I'll do the first one. I'll do pepper sand. It's definitely somewhere. Goodness gracious. How many times am I going to do that? All right. Look at the index itself. Was that not it? I guess I could go to
Just go NQ.
Right. Yeah, that's what we were looking at there already. All right. Pepper. I mean, first off, we see. I mean, Mickey, we just can't make this stuff up, right? We got, like, you have a perfect order block rejection. I don't even know. Like, I can't even fathom the amount of times this keeps occurring. So obviously, when you have this many order blocks, like coming through, right? Let me play back. So like we're showing you that, all these order blocks are rejecting. Now, obviously not every order block is going to do that. Like if we're coming through here, notice we have a reaction there, but it enters right back through it, right? This is the daily chart. Have a reaction there. These are just current levels that keep reacting, right? But look up here, you got a 10% one, right? And then these stacked and it continued lower. So it's not just the order block you have to watch, right? You have to watch on, where is it on, an oscillator? Is it extended at that current moment in time? Is the structure in the right direction? Look at this. There's a change of character that occurred right here. That's already showing a structure shift. So seeing that with the order block reject, I have a lot more confirmation, right? Me and Mickey earlier talking about Heikin-Ashi candles. You can even use that to kind of help with an extra level of confluence. It's like Heikin-Ashi takes a little bit longer for that trend, to say that it's possibly changing. So that's another way you could look at, where's the right order blocks to take on top of the percentages. Percentages are huge as well. So for there, that being 5%, nice little setup for the order block reject with a change of character, had lower high, and you have potential trend continuing, right? So you're in a downtrend still. I would say here, see if you get a continued rejection on the NAS 100. You have FOMC in a second. If not, you got to set a higher low before you continue higher, or a lower low to continue lower. So moment in time, bearish on the signals and overlays. You're in that 3 signal. So still bearish for sure. If we go, we're on almost optimized sensitivity, so it's going to be roughly the same. So I do like that it shifted back to a 3. So honestly, look for that reject there. We could have a nice little move. But yeah, let's see here around the area we're already at if FOMC rejects hard. So sounds good. Thanks guys for posting all the things you want to look at. We can possibly go over some more later as FOMC is literally in 4 minutes. But we're going to hand it over to Mickey. If you want to bring your chart up. Let's see here. And we'll look at some other cool stuff after the FOMC gets released at 2 Eastern. Let me full screen this-ish. All right, let's see here. Sorry, let me get you up here.
I'm live.
You are now live, my friend.
There we go.
Take us away.
All right. Dollar index 4 hour. Signals and overlays with some premium, equilibrium, and discount zones on the chart and the oscillator matrix. Today I want to go over a little tips and trick I mentioned, I believe yesterday in the VIP group. So let me go over this chart a little bit. We'll peel back the layers here. All right. Let me enlarge the main chart. Disable price action. No, wrong one. There you go. Okay. Dollar index 4 hour. I used the 4 hour for a trend bias. every day, day in and day out. Okay, I post the signals and overlays 4 hours with a Neo Cloud autopilot long term with AI signal classifier showing all signals 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, I want to know the trend, the bias of the day. Okay, that's my purpose. But what I wanted to show you is why I picked the 4 hour. Okay, this is just current price action, right? Let me disable the watermark and I'll show you what I'm explaining. Let me change the candles to just bar so I can just squish it in just a little bit more, right? Make the chart a little bit prettier when I add more months to it, okay? I am going to squish this chart. I'm going to do some examples for you, right? We're going to go year to date, right? We're there, year to date. Okay, hopefully you folks out there in YouTube world can see this pretty good. All right. Not too bad, right? This is the reason why I use 4 hour for trend bias on the signals and overlays template and also price action concepts. 4 hours is my key. 4 hours plus daily. All right. Can you imagine on this chart if I swing trade these entries in the direction of NeoCloud? Some of them are a little bit choppier, but if you implement a good trade management style, like a trailing stop loss, since January year to date, take a look at this. All right. I'm pausing because I want to emphasize this. Take a look at this. Can you imagine swing trading this? Taking a short, trailing stop loss. Taking a long, trailing stop loss. Short, long, short, long. Talk about a high win percentage year to date. That's 10 months on the dollar. Okay. And I'm not going to cherry pick any instruments. I am going to show you the exact same symbols that I show every single day in the room in every single live stream. It's going to be the dollar, the ES, NASDAQ, the euro, USD JPY, Japanese yen.
The Fomc pump right now.
Beautiful. I'm in a trade. This is going to be good for me. I'll show you the trade after that. It's a swing trade. Anyway, I am going to show you the best in class of their asset classes. Not going to cherry pick, right? These are the same symbols I talk about every day and in the room. This is the dollar index. Nice. All right. Let's head over to the ES. I'm going to clean up the chart. Same thing. All right. Little exercise here. Still pumping. All right. Go to January, year to date. Year to date. Where's my year to date? There we go. Year to date. Take a look at that. This is why when we're scalping on a lower time frame, on a 15-minute, 5-minute, 1 minute, 2 seconds, I really don't care, right? For me, if I'm using a lower time frame, and if I'm trading in the direction of my trend bias chart, which is my 4 hours, I have tipped the scale to my favor, right? Price can move, price can go up, or price can go down. So everyone starts at 50-50 odds, all right? So using my 4 hour higher time frame just increased my odds to 51.49 to my favor, right? So now I'm going to scalp and trade in the direction of these 4 hour trend bias chart. And with trade management and with my entry strategy, I am going to increase my odds from 51 to 49 to hopefully 55, 45 and higher, right? This is the ES. Let's go over to the NQ. Should be the same, right? Since the NQ and ES kind of follows, right? There you go, year to date. Clean this up a little bit. NASDAQ. If I took these swing trades, you can swing off of this. You got to have patience. You got to have the stomach, and you have to trust in your charts, right? You have to trust it, all right? I enter on these NeoCloud signals with the AI signals, and I use a pretty good trailing stop, or use whatever trade management that fits you. Simple one is a trailing stop. Some of them might make it choppy. Some of them you may break even depending on your trailing stop. But from year to date, look at your account and your net. Are you going to be net negative or net positive? I'm guessing you're going to be net positive on the NASDAQ, on the dollar, and the ES. Let's head over to Forex. We are going to do the same exercise, all right? Find my year to date. There you go. Take a look at this. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Year to date, what's my bank account statement? My prop firm, well, maybe not prop firm because you got to go by their rules, right? Your trading brokerage account, your personal one. If you traded this way, if you swung trade this chart with a trailing stop loss, I'm guessing it's going to be positive. Good guess, right? USDJPY, same thing. I am not cherry picking these symbols. These are the exact symbols I personally watch and I personally show in the room every single day. Well, maybe not every single day, Monday through Friday. Let's get some year-to-date action going on here. I'm actually standing up in this live stream with my stand-up desk because I just want to bring this home, right? There you go. God, I love UJ. Look at that with a nice trailing stop loss on a 4-hour template using signals and overlays. NeoCloud with AI signal classifier. Not too shabby, right? I made it simple for me. This is simple. Paint by colors. If you want to trade by colors or signals, there you go. All right. Year to date, my account is looking pretty on these major symbols. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? These are the big daddies I always watch. Okay. I also want to go over when Jake and I always mention look to the left for levels, you know, use order blocks. If you're new and you're having a hard time looking to the left, right? I mean, right here, I mean, here's an area of concern. Here's another area. Here's another area. Here's a nice big area, right? Congestion. Here's another area. An easier way for your eyes to help you look for these areas is right in TradingView. Turn on your horizontal grid lines, right? Do this. Horizontal grid lines. There you go. So if you think this area is a key level, draw a line, right? Draw a line, or actually draw a box, right? This is just an example. This is not high-tech technical analysis. Draw a box, right? Look how this rejection is. Look at all these ebb and flows. right? But this one had a hard rejection. Why? Because of this area, right? You look to the left, right? If you're kind of new and don't know how to draw these boxes on your own, or you're kind of confused on SMC or ICT or whatnot, turn on your horizontal grid lines, right? Do this. If you think this is a good area, a key area, put a footnote here, right? Put a footnote here when the price gets to that level, which is this horizontal line, be aware, right? That's a little tip that's inside trading view. Okay. Hopefully that helps everyone. Let me hit the price action concepts template. Here we go, my baby. Dollar index 4-hour bias chart with 4-hour order blocks. Okay. Not too bad, right? It looks pretty, but how do you trade it? How do you trade it? If I'm using a 4-hour chart, I am going to always overlay a higher time frame order blocks. So on a 4-hour, I personally like daily order blocks. I add the dailies. My daily order blocks are the colored ones. Okay. Take a look at this. Look at this reject. Let me give you an example. Let's turn this off. Look at this price action. It hits this 4-hour order block, right? Comes back down and then it reverses. But why did it reverse? We don't know. Well, if there's no key levels around you, add some, right? I added a daily, rejected off the daily, right? Now price pierces into a 4-hour order block, which is great, right? It's trying, but this level is pretty tough, right? It's trying. It's pretty tough. Why? There is a daily just sitting right here. And there she goes. Okay. Now, past few days, dollars heading down, lower. It hits this order block. It almost turned into a breaker block, right? But it's still a solid order block. It's trying. Should I go long or should I go short? We don't know yet. If you add in your daily, maybe this will convince you. Wow. It needs to bust through this daily below before I even consider a short. Right? Or the most obvious one is a reject, because price is closer to a reject than a bust down. Now it's busting up. Is it coincidence because the war or FOMC speech? We don't know, but I'm just talking purely chart-wise, okay? Daily order blocks is important on my 4-hour. If I trade with a 15-minute chart, the 4-hour order blocks is important. I'll overlay a 4-hour order block on top of my 15-minute chart. Okay. Let's go over to the ES. The ES played out beautifully yesterday. While I was posting charts as price went on, you know, I kind of gave everyone a hint. Look for this, and it happened right in front of our eyes. Okay. What was the play yesterday? I think it was right here, right? I posted my first chart saying, hey, The ES is busting out of a 4-hour order block. My strategy is I want price to reject from a 4-hour order block or break out from a 4-hour order block. These are my paths, right? If I'm looking at this bar, I'm not taking any entries yet because it's inside of an order block. I want to see this, all right? Or I want to see this. Two paths. Which path did it take? Well, of course, obvious, right? The bullish path. So we'll just delete that. We'll delete that. See right here, right? There's your path. Look at this, another reject. Coming down, look at that. Beautiful plays on a lower time frame. Go down to a 15-minute time frame, like I did yesterday in the VIP group, right? This move was a winner chicken dinner in the group yesterday, okay? Let's head over to the Euro USD, okay? Let's take away the daily order blocks, all right? 4-hour price action concepts with order blocks shown only. Nice measured moves, pretty nice. How do you get in? Many ways to get in. You can use change of structure, fair value gaps, whatever your concept is, focus on it and enter, right? So if your bias was short, take your shorts. Well, how do I know the bias is short? Well, I mean, what did I, how did I just, I mean, look at this, right? My bias chart, okay? What you can also do, daily order blocks. Okay. When you're taking your shorts off these high levels, it's got to stop, right? It can't go to the basement forever, right? Where's it going to stop? This daily order block right here. Okay. Let's head over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I'm not an expert, but I can read charts. Okay. I'm not an expert at reading charts, but I do pretty good on my own. For Bitcoin, I don't know the reasons, the pumps and dumps. There are other knowledgeable experts in our VIP group, but I'm just here to look at charts with the premium indicators, right? Here's a 4-hour Bitcoin chart with 4-hour order blocks. How do I make sense of this, right? Look at this stuff right here. I have no idea what is going on here. What is that? What is that junk? I don't know. Let's see if I can make any sense of it. Let's add the daily. Just like Jacob said, I'm not making this stuff up. It's hitting a daily order block. It's having a very hard time busting below this 25.5 or 25.7 level. Look at this. These are daily. Look, if we turn off the daily, we have no idea what's going on here. If you turn on the daily, yeah, we do know why. We do know why. It's having a hard time breaking up from these daily order blocks. So what do we have right here? What do we have? We have big chopperooey range in this area, in this space. Right now, we've created a new space. Look at this. We're about to have a squeeze play in Bitcoin. It's going to bust pretty soon. All right. I don't know Bitcoin. I don't know the history. I don't know the halving. I don't know the Fed regulations. I really don't know. I'm just looking at the chart. If I'm looking at daily order blocks, another one created, it's getting squeezed. Hint, hint, tips and tricks. It's getting squeezed. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't know. Let's try to make some sense of this. All right. Let's draw some trend lines. All right. It's going to get squeezed somewhere in here. This is not coincidence. Trend lines, this wedge form, you're getting squeezed down in this area. And then we have a new daily order block being formed with the support level of another daily order block right here. All right, let's turn off the 4-hour order blocks. Okay. That's all we have, right? But if I visualize this in my head and try to make sense of this, all right, if I draw my boxes of the range between these daily order blocks, and I draw another box right here. Okay. Actually, we've got another one I just saw. We got another one. Wow, this is really getting squeezed now. All right. Pretty neat, huh? Anyway, let's take a look at, what are we looking at? Let's take a look at UJ. All right. UJ. Okay. Pretty good uptrend. 4-hour order blocks at the dailies. Not too bad, right? Look how many times it rejected this breaker block. Right? Price goes up, it rejects this daily order block. Look at this. I'll turn it off. I'll show you. Look at this. Price could not bust through this level for a few days. Why? There's a major level here. Okay. And I think the war broke out here, right? Somewhere here. Okay. Pretty neat. Aussie and the dollar. Look at that. Okay. I'm actually in this trade. I'm swinging it. But it's looking good so far. A lot of range action going on here, right? The Aussie US it's been ranging for a long time. It has not been trending for quite a bit, you know. I mean, right here, it has been trending here. How did I get in on this short? I don't know. I mean, luck. But let's turn on the daily order blocks. Boom. This is a daily order block breaker block. This is why price has been ranging back and forth between two daily order blocks. Now it's getting squeezed. Look, another one formed. Right? Where's my entry? How did I take this entry? Oh, just like Jacob did. He used his fancy, pretty good actually, new Lux indicator. I may just have to use that one of these days, but let me do this manual. I took it from here, right? Golden pocket. My golden pocket is 71 to 79, somewhere in this area. Premium. I could have took it anything above 50% level, right? Anything above 50% level is premium zone. Anything below 50% level It's discount zone. We want to sell high, buy low. We want to sell at premium. We want to buy at discount. Okay. So I can't just blindly fib anything, right? Turn this off. I just can't blindly pick 2 anchor points and fib it. I need to have a validating reasoning. My validating reasoning is price action concepts, key levels. My entry was actually my entry. I put a limit exactly at the 71%. Because why? I didn't want to miss out on the trade. I didn't want to put it at 79. I just, I was being greedy. I wanted it at 71. I wanted to get in, right? I placed this. I created this fib while the price was around here. So it took a long time. I think a week, right? But this golden pocket, my personal golden pocket, is at the same level as daily order block. Okay. I was planning for an entry off of the 71%, target TP level 0%. It may or may not happen. I don't know. I don't know. I'm swinging it. I'm testing it. I'm testing my stomach. All right. My stop loss. Well, Mickey, you don't use a stop loss. Swinging is kind of, risky. Yeah, okay, true. I do use a stop loss when I'm swinging it in this concept. My stop is right here at the 100%. It's in confluence of the upper zone of these daily order blocks. So I have a few validating reasons to use this actual fib bracket. My entry is at a daily order block. My stop loss is at 100%. By chance, it's at the upper premium zone of the daily order blocks. I'm taking a shot. This is my best guesstimate shot, right? I am trying to increase my odds from 50-50 to 51-49. I think it filled me 2 days ago. I'm in. Kind of retraced a little bit, but I don't know. I may move my stop to positive, right? I don't know how many ticks I'm in. And let me look at my app here. Hold on. I'm up 34 pips. Not too bad, right? Pat on my back. How much time we got, Jacob? I think those are the tips and tricks I got.
Yeah, man.
Anybody want to go over anything? Jacob's detailed entry on a different symbol? Or,
we are cranking right now. And the time that you FOMC hit, let's see, we go
reverse, huh?
Got a nice little recovery of most of the value today, up about 0.5% nearly on the ES. Was the NQ probably moving too? Yeah. Yeah, recovered about all the loss it had earlier.
Yeah, look at the matrix. The matrix told you. On the 4 hour, not too bad. Not too bad. Nice. Any more surprises today? Tips and tricks.
I think Pipe, are you still here? I'll go over the see if he's still here. But Eduardo wanted to see that the Google on, we went over this earlier. I don't know if he was watching me or not, but you wanted to see the 4 I'm looking at now. Here, I'll show you, man. You wanted premium discount zones on the 4 hour. And it's in that premium. Yes, you're in the premium side. But again, what we talked about with the way it's moving back, because it's in premium here, it did break out of this recent high, right? You had that large retracement. Sure, you could look for a short here, but why? I'm not going to look here. I'm going to wait for this order block. If there's an order block sitting there, I'm going to wait for that. So yeah, it's in a premium zone 100%. I mean, it bounced off the equilibrium, but it's not because it's in a premium, you're too late to the party for one on a long. But if you want to flip your side, then you wait for, you get to another level of confluence. So it's just, it was clearly already in a premium zone just based on what we see. We didn't really need to turn on the premium zones. But yeah, so the breakout for now, because this order block's up here, that's probably going to be your next target to the upside before looking any different. Pipe, if you're here, I'll go over the alerts, but I don't know if you are. Let's see. I want to go back to ES though and look. Yeah, man, that was a great little move on the 5 minute. Nice little 5 minute pump. And now reject. It looked like FOMC, pretty much the minutes were stating that we, let me see here, that they're all in agreement on the rates staying the same at the moment. Potentially, it's always a hint at rate hikes, but the overall conversation seemed like, or the minutes that got released were saying that we're gonna, we're pretty much capped off on the rates. So being capped like that is like kind of indication that we won't go much higher. And that inflation is slowing a bit as well, I think was said too. So obviously because of FOMC, we might, you might see this pump and then it settles and then dumps and then pumps again. But for now, it's seeming pretty solid for where we're at. And we are obviously set a pretty aggressive low there last week. But, we kind of just play it as it tells us, right? So for now, price was extended and it rebounded. So that's, it's obeying that it sold off. At the current moment, if we were to take a swing fib here, we are currently in a golden pocket to the downside if we wanted to take a trade like that. But with the 3 signal on the daily, I'm still bearish, right? I'm still going to be bearish at this very moment until we get an opposing signal. Oscillator, remember, we flipped on ES. We flipped to bearish. So if we get a turning point up here, short is definitely a potential move on the daily chart for the SP 500. So keep an eye on that. Any last minute things you guys want to touch on? Otherwise, I think we might call it there. And we'll be back later this week, of course.
Flip it over to me for a second.
Yeah, I got you for sure. Boom. It's all you.
All right.
Got that 4-hour ES.
I wanted to explain something, I am a member, right? I am a VIP member, just like anyone else here. I'm no different, right? And I'm also been in other groups, and I've just received a few DMs, direct messages, saying you claim you don't cherry pick, but what about last year? You know what? When I say I don't cherry pick is because I always show these major symbols in their asset classes day in and day out, every single day. So I'm not hiding anything. I'm not picking out a symbol that I've never looked at to make the chart look pretty, right? But then everyone says on my DMs, I got a couple of them, well, you only did January to October. What about last year and the year before? All right, let's do it. Okay. This is what is it? Year to date, right? Year to date. Let's scroll another year. It's the same thing. When you are in a higher time frame, you're much more safer, less noise. It's just a fact. I'm not inventing this. It's just pure price action fact. Okay, that's last year. Let's scroll through all the symbols. I'm not cherry picking. All the big boys. Nazi, what is this? Okay. Year to date. Same thing. If you enter and use a trailing stop loss according to your 4-hour template and to your style, you're going to be pretty safe at the end of the year. Let's go to Big Ben, Euro. Is this year to date? Yeah, okay. Same thing. Wow, even last year was much more beautiful. This is just insane. I'm going to trade the Euro now, right? Let's go to Japanese yen. Let me verify this is here today. Okay. All right. I don't know how much more proof I can give you. I'm not here to prove anything to you. It works for me. Back test it on your own. Put it on a 4-hour. Use whatever indicators you want. You like Smart Trail? Put a Smart Trail on, right? Back test your strategy on a higher time frame for trend bias and enter on a lower time frame on your strategy and template. You're going to be safe. Okay. Jacob, I saw you messing with the screens. I think it's time, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I was making sure I have everything up here, but so Kazmi asking about the MT4. I will say, you guys go in the description if you want to see some indicators we have for like MetaTrader and some other platforms. Check out the library on the website, luxalgo.com. You'll see it top right hand corner. It's either the tab or just click library here. And you can go over to platform here and say you want MetaTrader. We have Thinkorswim, obviously NinjaTrader, MT5 as well, and TradeStation. But you can click like MetaTrader 4. You can see what indicators we have developed already for the MetaTrader platform. So like if you wanted, the predictive ranges was super popular indicator. This used to be a premium indicator that is now free for you guys. You can get it for MetaTrader 4. Thinkorswim's not available yet, but 5 and NinjaTrader. But again, on the website, we have our free indicator library here. You can, several platforms you can download a lot of these indicators on completely free. So yeah, go check that out on the website, luxalgo.com, and then click library or luxalgo.com/library, whichever you want to do. But also, of course, if you want to test out the indicators you saw today as well, you can for 30 days risk-free. You just click this button right here, and you can try it out for 30 days. And then if you want to learn more, though, before going with that 30 days risk-free, you can click the resources and hit guides. In the guides section, you do get in-depth, information on each feature that we talked about today. So like, if you had more questions about the volumetric order blocks, you can go to price action concepts, click volumetric order blocks, and here you go. You can learn about it. You can get some tips. You can hide overlappings, by clicking hide overlap. It teaches you about, what the metrics are. And then, some tips on that as well. Multi-time frame order blocks like we talked about. And then make sure you understand, down here, can be here, the time of the order block, can be different from the location on its chart time frame. These behaviors, it's going to give you warnings as well for things to look out for in certain markets, because these order blocks are pulling data from whichever exchange you are on, and different exchanges have different prices, so it can really differ. Making sure you understand how the order blocks work just by going over this documentation. But we make sure that we have videos for you too, so check out the videos on there. They're also on the channel that you're on now. But yeah, so go check that out on the website. We appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out with us. We will be back later this week, of course. We're going to try to go 2 times a week very soon. We're going to go more than that, whether it's 3 or every day. Let's see.
24/7, 7 days a week.
Yeah, 24. Gosh, that would be nuts. Wait,
I'm in.
Caleb said, I found that real-time ranges was super trend. AI works well on the 4-hour, but not on a minute is more risky. Yeah, higher time frames are always going to be your best time frame to trade on, especially you're really going to be viewing it in a more broader sense and understanding which direction the market might be going just from the higher time frames. That's why we always recommend use your first analysis on a higher time frame, then go to a lower time frame and find your trade on that lower time frame. The alerts, there's Pipe. I asked if you were here earlier. I don't think you were, but yeah, let me do that real quick for you, man, and then we're gonna call it. And let me show you. So for the AI system here, we have it. I don't know what your issue is, but if you want to set up an alert, right, you probably got to do it on a custom alert. So if you have it set it up this way, where it's any alert function, or you're saying bullish confirmation, bearish confirmation, that is not the way to do it. You are going to want to do a custom alert. Okay, so like for me, I love 3 signals, right? 3 is my favorite. So what I do is I go into the Lux Algo Signals and Overlays, and I scroll down to the bottom here. You'll see the custom alert creator. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click these, AI classifier here and the signal, right? So in that, I'm going to do, any bullish. And then I think am I able to do just the AI classifier? They might have changed that now. So then what I can do is if I want just 3 signals, I click the AI classifier and I hit 3 here. And if for some reason that isn't working, you can notice here that you have a trigger that happened there. So it should be working because it's showing the triggers for the 3s. This is on every side. But, if you want it to be for a particular side, then you would click signal and then do, a bullish or bearish signal, right? And then the AI classifier number that you would like. But if you want every 3, hit AI classifier, hit 3 here, make sure it's just on step 1. And then what you can do is, in order to make it an actual alert, once you have that triggered, right, you'll see that it shows up here. Okay, so if I need that to alert me, now I go to the alert, right? I create an alert on signals and overlays, and then I make sure that I have the one selected here, signals and overlays, and then I scroll down to custom alert, right? Custom alert. So this I know is what? This is a 3 signal. So then I can set the alert on once per bar close. Make sure you have it on once per bar close because the signals appear once the bar is closed. So once a candle is closed. And then I could say here, AI 3 signal. So every single time that goes off on the daily time frame, I get a 3 signal. I will know that it's that it's the anywhere if it's bullish or bearish of a 3 signal, that's where it alert me. Now obviously I can customize it to where I only get alerted for bullish or I only get alerted for bearish as well. And you do the similar thing where you do a 3 signal, and I'm pretty sure you just say any bullish confirmation, and then there you go. See, look here. See how this signal is here? See how it's blue? That blue dot's there. So that way I know that that's going to get signaled. But notice 3 here, there's no blue dot. So I know that won't be signaled. But if I go into the setting again and I, make it, and I just check off the signal here, you'll see blue dot, blue dot. So when you see those blue dots, it's going to tell you that, it's going to tell you what will actually be signaled. So we can go back in the past as well, and you can look at, the signaling too for the alerts. Like there's a dot, there's a dot, so it's on both sides, right? So that's, for setting up that alert system. You just have to make sure when you go to actually add the alert, you click create alert, and you are on the signals and overlays, and you click custom alert, right? And you make sure it's on once per bar close. That's what you have to have it on, okay? And then you can name it whatever you want. You can do the webhook thing if you want as well. But you have to make sure those are all done. And if you didn't fully understand what I just talked about as well, you can go to the documentation, right? And you can go to alerts under here, and then it'll tell you under the documentation step by step how to do it as well. So just make sure you check that out too. If you want me to link here, you can get your 30 days risk-free at using our link here. There's your link. But for whoever said, please link. We had a suggestion regarding our Discord server. Currently, we have a livestock scanner that provides opportunities for trading. However, I was wondering if it would be possible to enhance this feature by incorporating an AI signal classifier. Potentially, that might be in the works. I could find out and let you know on the next stream. But anytime we release a new update, there's always stuff like that in development to make sure your Discord experience is better and the overall signaling is better. So that could be in the works for sure. And like Mickey said, you could add this to the suggestion channel in the VIP group. Yes, that's the other thing is let's just talk about the Discord real quick. When you do sign up for the 30 days risk free, you do get access to the VIP section of the Discord, but you could also get access now to the public section. You do get updates in there as well when we have sales and stuff, and obviously when we stream. But there is a public section for everybody to hang out in the general area, and we do talk with a lot of the free members in there. But when you do get that 30 days risk free and you sign up, you do get access to the VIP area, which also has our pro strategies section. So this is only for the VIP members. These are strategies that people have sent us and we've reviewed that we like using all these indicators. And if you remember Luke, that strategy is in here as well. That was under you reposted that, Mickey. What was that under? It's called the something order block.
I'm not sure. I have to look for it.
It was because they're always talking in there. You can favorite these too, by the way, guys, and always have access to them. Yeah, you posted it in here.
Sweeps.
What?
Let's algo price action concept sweeps.
Oh yeah, it's sweeps. There you go, boom. So this is a super popular feed of people talking, and it goes over that strategy. Remember, you can go to the pin of this.
Hey, Jacob, switch it over to your Discord. You have it on your chart.
Oh, you're right. What am I doing? Sorry about that. Anyway, like I said, we just go back in the alerts here. Yeah, on the website you can get the alerts. Discord, the general area is for the free members. But we do have a VIP section for all the people that do sign up. It is very well organized. It's not super spammy. We hang. Mickey is in there 24/7. He's like literally, I don't know how he sleeps because he's always answering questions. So I'm slowly starting to come back in there as well. But for now, you're mostly with Mickey and all of our other traders like Luke. Luke's been on the stream before. And like I was saying, you do get access to the pro strategies. These are all strategies that we've gone over. We made sure that they make sense and they have a potential of helping you guys develop your own profitable strategy. So you can check out all of these if you are a VIP member. But again, the sweeps thing was the one that we talked about being a super popular strategy that was posted. But you can go to the pins in here. Where's my pin messages? Oh, there it is. Boom. And then, he made it easy for you to go check it out. You just jump to the top of the page, and there you go. This is that strategy that was super popular with using some of the FVGs, but that Luke made that you guys saw. But a lot of the strategies are like that within here that can, depends on what type of trader you are, right? So go check that out if you are a premium member. And yeah, Gareth, I'm glad that's helped you. And so let's see, any last minute pipe. Yes, you can alert both. Like I said, I showed you there earlier. You can alert both of them. But yeah, I think that's a good place to leave it. We can look one more time at ES here. I think it's just slowly fading higher. Yeah, it's just settled off. But in that 2 signal, the 3 obviously is my favorite. Great little sell off there. But yeah, I think that's a good place to leave it. We're about 2 hours in here, which is awesome. Hope you guys enjoy the stream. And we will see you. Let's see, today's Wednesday. We'll probably see you on Friday. So a day gap. We can come back and look at where the charts have headed since we went over stuff today. So does that work for you, Mickey, Friday?
Oh yeah, 24/7. I'm right here.
Oh yeah, 24/7, 365.
Yeah, I got 10 cameras on me. We're all ready. I got 10 screens.
Yeah, man, exactly. But all right, well, appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll see you Friday. Friday, probably same time, 12:30 Eastern. So be ready for that. We can go over kind of the early morning price action. At some point, I do want to do opening bell streams. So if that were to happen, it'd probably be twice a week, probably like Tuesday, Thursday, or something. So we'll keep you updated on how the stream is going to be changing, because Friday it'll be a little bit different. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I think it's a good place to leave it. And FOMC cranking. So hopefully the rest of this week is super green. It'll be a lot of fun. But
All good stuff.
I think we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Tag me in the room if you have any more questions. Okay.
Yeah, and this will be saved live, so you can go back and watch it. For those of you that want to watch, the first half of the stream, or whatever, we'll post it in the Discord as well. But it'll be on the YouTube channel under live. So yeah, check it out in just a little bit, and we'll see you guys on Friday.
Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one, guys. See ya.